Good morning, Mad Hatter Nation. How you doing? It's November 5th, 2025. It's Wednesday. Happy hump day. We made it to the hump day, which means it's just a couple of slaloms while we're downhill skiing into the weekend. And I think something happened yesterday. Something happened yesterday. Oh, that's right. New York has fallen, you guys. New York City has fallen. Send an SOS. New York has fallen. No, I'm just kidding. But the NFL trade deadline did happen yesterday. And, admittedly, I think it was an incredibly busy trade deadline, more so than we've seen in years past. That's something I've been kind of talking about here periodically throughout the channel, is that the NFL is getting way more wheeling and dealing happy for players to be coming and going, even mid-season prior to the trade deadline. And then as we got closer and closer to closer and closer to the trade deadline, excuse me, sorry about that. We've seen more and more players moving, even the weeks, hours, and days. Monday morning, we woke up to Jalen Phillips. The guy I wanted traded to, of course, the dirty Philadelphia Eagles. Shitty bang bang right there. But we've seen guys like Kyle Duggar move earlier on. And then, of course, Joe Flacco the first third of the season, Joe Flacco was traded interdivisionally. But it was a real active trade deadline. And I think we all got a little too high on seeing how the rest of the NFL moved around. Pause real quick. Hold that thought. I do have to give one shout out to someone down in the chat. You guys, Mad Hatter Nation. Let's give a big happy birthday to Clarice Jackson, you guys. Happy birthday, sister. I believe you said today is your birthday. So we want to give a big shout out to you, longtime supporter of the channel. Clarice Jackson, happy birthday, sister. Hopefully you have a good birthday there, girl. Go and kick ass and take names. Tell anyone that gets in your way to go kick rocks in flip-flops. All right, so... Excuse me. I was ripping my pen way too hard before the show. Oh, me and my Benjamin, we was hanging out extra hard. So, of course, I'm glad we're excited to sell. I am just excited that you decided to bring your birthday and spend a little bit of time here on your birthday, a day that is all about you, and give a little bit of your time with me over here and the rest of Mad Hatter Nation. That's pretty cool of you to do. So the very least we can do is give you a shout out on your birthday. Happy birthday, Clarice. But so we kind of got into this mentality of monkey see, monkey do, monkey pee all over you. And we've seen all these teams wheeling and dealing. Of course, teams that could be considered our conference rivals at this point, at least the team that is in the way of the Detroit Lions getting to the promised land, and that is the Philadelphia Eagles. Very active. Howie Roseman is a very active man in the trade markets. And Brad Holmes has been able to orchestrate a deal here or there. But not so much at the trade deadline. And we will talk about that later on in the show, guys. I think I've got a little bit of a little dose of reality that will kind of serve to counteract the copium we are all huffing on right now. But we do have some stories here that we will break down before we get into the show. Oh, yes. All right. Well, you guys can tell. I'm a Mark Dice fan. Whoopsie poopsie. I outed myself. Oh, no. I like Mark Dice. We do have from Judy Batista, NFL trade deadline. Who are the biggest wieners and who are the biggest losers? We are the biggest No, we're not. But expectations were kind of set forth, especially when you set the table with the mahogany injury. Just kind of really drove home the fact that we need some depth in the offensive line. Taylor Decker's not getting any younger, and Glasgow's not playing at a relatively level, not even high level, just level. He's not level at all. He's not even on the scale. Son of a bitch is not even playing checkers. We're trying to play chess, and we're like, can you at least play checkers? Well, he's playing Connect fucking 4 or whatever, Connect 3, whatever the hell that game is. So we needed help, and now part of me thinks that maybe that kind of blew the whole thing up, was maybe there were some deals in place, and then we seemed more desperate, and then the asking price went up. But we will peruse what Judy Batista has to say about NFL trade deadline wieners and losers NFL trade deadline ranking every major deal, including Cowboys, Colts, Jets, Eagles, and Steelers moves. We'll, if there's time, we'll quickly peruse through this, but obviously my monologue's getting a little long in the tooth here for you guys. And then the thing we're all here for is, of course, Detroit Lions news and information. Lions considered NFL trade deadline losers. Detroit fails to execute a trade despite needs. This came out 2 hours ago from John Macaron, and I hope I'm saying that right. The dude is not a bad writer, so even though I'm not necessarily saying that the Lions were losers, me and my Tim Poolian milquetoast fence-sitting ass is going to say he's not entirely wrong. We will see what the article says, and if he can back up his argument. Typically, the guy writes a compelling story. So we will see about that. We will then go over to Jeremy Reisman. Lions signing offensive lineman to practice squad. Oh, you guys want some of this? You want some of this copium? You want some of this? It's some good shit. It's some good shit, guys. Don't worry. Even though we didn't make a move at the trade deadline, the Lions are adding an offensive lineman to their practice squad. But don't expect him to contend for a starting job. But don't worry, we made a move. It's all good. We're going to make a big push for the Super Bowl. You sure you don't want some of this copium? You sure you don't want some of this offensive lineman to the practice squad copium? It might help a little bit, guys. It might help a little bit. And then over here at SI on Lions, Brad Holmes is not aggressive like Howie Roseman. Holmes could be the reason why the Lions failed to reach the Super Bowl. Vito, Chirico. What is this that you say? What is this that you are trying to, and are you trying to plant a seed of doubt in my beautiful bald-headed Brad Holmes? Look at that chrome dome. Look at that dome right there. That is the dome. That is a huge brain right there. That is a massive brain that knows more than everybody else. Just ask him. He stands by that statement and refuses to make deals at the trade deadline. But I do think there is a reason behind that. We will get into it. Now that I have sounded like an absolute maniac, guys, up in the chat, there is a poll that you can pick from. Thoughts on post-deadline. 10% of you say we're effed. 50% of you say F around, and the NFL going to find out. Well, that's a possibility. And then 40% of you, and this is what I would vote. If I could cast a vote, I would say, I am Jon Snow, and I know nothing. Clearly, yesterday showed, I laid out some decent arguments. I'm not the most well-versed. I'm not an analyst or an expert by any means. I'm just a guy in Grandma's Studio One yelling into a stick at a camera. I could be an AI for all that you guys know. You don't know. Maybe I'm real. Maybe I'm not. Maybe this is all just a figment of your imagination. And we're all in a padded room together. I don't know. But what I do know is that I know nothing about the NFL because I admittedly was real high on us making a move. I kind of thought that was how we had to do it. And, if there's one thing now that is proven absolutely without a doubt, Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are going to continue to march to the beat of their own drum. There, I just teased you a little bit for my explanation. Now, hopefully you stick around through the whole show. If you guys wouldn't mind doing me a favor, go ahead and poke all of my bells, ring all of my buttons, like this video, do the most important thing you can do, share this video around with all your friends, tell every single person that you know to come and join the Hat and Beard Show. I want to give a huge shout-out to Lions Chat or WeChat. Mike Kimber, dude, gave me a nice big shout out yesterday during his live stream. So I want to say a big thank you to my guy, Mike Kimber over there, Micro Mike, doing absolute just yeoman's work. You guys, if you haven't already, go subscribe to his channel. He is almost at 100,000 subscribers. And my guy kind of had a nice little take yesterday, and I tried to look into a little bit, but so I do like some of the content creators over at Woodward Sports, but apparently they got in a little bit of trouble. A little bit of one of them there got their little hand slapped, got their old tallywhacker slapped with their hand in the cookie jar. Things not going so smoothly over there. Couldn't find any news articles about it, but something to do with some FCC violations or something or another. Now, I do like some of the content creators over there, and I don't wish any ill will towards those guys. But it does kind of feel like the rebellion, like us rebels out here, got a nice little strike on the empire. Like we did get a nice little blow against the giant corporations. You know what I'm saying? Like we did kind of punch it back. And it does kind of feel like all of us little guys out there did get a little bit of a W. So go and celebrate with Mike Kimber. We need to get that guy up over 100,000 subscribers because if there's one guy especially in the Lions content creation sphere, that really is the rising tide that raises all ships. It's Micro Mike, dude. So give him a follow. Make sure and give him a big shout out over there. Yeah, he is an OG content creator out there. Been saying for that for a month. WSN steals all of their shorts and clips. They've been reported many times. Mr. Detroit City, I know, dude. And when I seen some things popping up a little bit, I thought about you, dude. And I was like, oh, my guy does know something. He is on to it. So I appreciate it, you guys. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Ring that notification bell because we are trying everything we can to get that 800 number. Once we hit 800, it's so close before we put a number in front of a period and hit that 4 digits, that 1,000 subscriber number. It's close, guys. It's close. It's very, very close. If we could maybe do that by the end of the year. Oh, Lord have mercy. I'd just be a happy little boy. All right, so, guys, let's go ahead and dive feet first and footballs deep into the show.
If you can say the word good, guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, well, then hell, you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, and go out on the attack.
Sorry, just chatting with you guys here a little bit. So what the hell, man? Shout out. What's up, guys? How you doing, everybody? I just want a big good morning from sunny mid-Michigan where it's a cloudy 55 degrees. Shout out Lions Loyalty, Motown Mitch, Duncan Stewart. Good morning, Brent DeWitt, Mr. Detroit City Lions Loyalty, Jay Dompierre. Good to see you back here again, my brother, coming back for more. You and Duncan Stewart and Lions Loyalty, couple of new guys been poking around, showing it pretty regularly. I do appreciate you guys coming in, and I really like that you guys are engaging in the chat. Feel free, please, everybody. I want everyone to feel confident and comfortable in engaging in the chat. You know, I know there's some of you who watch this that don't engage in the chat, and whether that's by choice or by work, I understand. But just remember, everybody here in Mad Hatter Nation has got a different opinion. We like to hear it. Okay, sometimes you guys can change my take on things, and some of them they're wondering where you're at, and they want to know why you're not here engaging in the chat with everybody else. So please feel welcome. I do appreciate all you newcomers coming in and bringing in your takes. Everyone's been not only bringing in good takes, but golly jeepers, fellers, you sure are some polite individuals. You all are quite some gentlemanly scholars and some rather classy ladies, if I do say so myself. So, Mad Hatter Nation, guys, let's go ahead and talk about the NFL trade deadline. Who are the biggest wieners and who are the Detroit Lions the biggest losers? This is Judy. Yeah, Judy Batista. We like Judy Batista. Judy Batista's pretty good, dude. We don't hate her. We tend to view the trade deadline as a culmination of a very brief period of time, the first half of the NFL season, when in reality, it closes a window that has been open since the start of the league year back in March. So that's a very good way of framing this, Judy Batista. You know, it's not like this has just been a couple of days like, oh, shit, we got to get our homework done before finals because I've been pulling my pud and beating my baloney for the entire semester. And now it's time to be classic hat and rush around and get everything done at the last minute. We went 19 days in October with no activity between the deal that swapped cornerbacks Greg Newsome and Tyson Campbell and that one, the one that sent cornerback Roger McCreary from the Titans to the Rams in exchange for draft picks, and the teams were off to the races. Then the Jets blew up the deadline with two blockbusters in the space of an hour Tuesday. Aaron Glenn trying to get that draft capital, realizing the situation. I have assets that are expensive, and I can get some pretty decent capital in exchange for them. I can rebuild cheaply through the draft, which allows me the financial flexibility to go out and get bigger names instead of just a bunch of Jags. You know what I'm saying? There were 22 total trades since the start of the season, the most in-season trades since at least 1995. and 12 total players were traded between Monday and Tuesday. 3 former first-team All-Pros were traded. Sauce Gardner, Quinnen Williams, and Rashid Shaheed, the most since at least 1995. So that's what I was saying with you guys. It feels very active in the trade market. Admittedly, I'm not going to lie, guys. That Sauce Gardner trade, that came out of absolutely nowhere. Did anybody see or think that Sauce Gardner was going to be getting wheeled? And didn't he just sign a contract extension with the New York Jets? And with Aaron Glenn being a corner, don't you think he would have maybe an affinity for such a high-value individual? But again, that draft capital could have just looked far too good for the Indianapolis Colts, and business is what business is. I just was honestly shocked when I seen Sauce Gardner got dealt to the Indiana Jones Colts. The Jets will be the headliner for the next 2 drafts. They emerged on Tuesday with 2 first-round picks and 2 second-rounders in 2026 and 3 first-rounders in 2027. There you go, bud. Aaron Glenn apparently playing Madden out here, dude. Just fire sale. What's going on? Big winners, headliners. Micah Parsons and the Green Bay Packers. Gross. Just days before the regular season kicked off, we know that. They sent Kenny Clark and some first-round picks. Blah, 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 blah. Indianapolis Colts and Sauce Gardner, big winners. A win-win. The Colts, with just 2 losses, filled their greatest need in adding cornerback Sauce Gardner. And they are clearly making a Super Bowl push right now after their fast start. The Colts are giving up 2 first-round draft picks plus receiver Adonai Mitchell. So this is a huge swing for them, although Gardner's contract is entirely manageable for a top corner. This is a great thing for Gardner, who for the first time in his career will play for a contending team. He is a long corner. He's 6'3" and will give the Colts defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo another defensive weapon to team with, along with Kenny Moore, Cameron Bynum, and eventually Travarius Ward, who is currently injured reserved after suffering a concussion. That's a good thing for the Indianapolis Colts. Other winners, the Seattle Seabags. They brought in their red-hot offense, and they might have made it better by adding Rashid Shaheed, who adds big play threat to an offense that is already 5th in scoring. There's little doubt that Sam Darnold's fantastic play in the first half of the season merits this kind of move. The Seahawks have a top-level defense, too, and Shaheed's speed will also create more space for the league's leading receiver, Jackson Smith-Njigba. JSN is he's a bad man out there on the field, I tell you what. Klint Kubiak. Clink? I thought it was Clint. Is it Clint or is it Clink? Because it says Clink right here, K-L-I-N-K. Clink. I thought it was Clint Kubiak. Have I been saying it wrong this whole time? Am I the asshole? Eesh. If it's Clink Kubiak, that's a tongue twister right there. It's got to be Clint, right? It's got to be Clint Kubiak, right? Had Shaheed last season in New Orleans, so he knows exactly how to use him, and that should mean Shaheed can make an immediate impact. Seattle, a bunch of dick-faced donkey fuckers over there. Eagles fans are big winners. Of course they are, because the Eagles fans are gross. The Pittsburgh Steelers are big winners. Obviously, they traded Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith, or brought them in exchange for Minkah Fitzpatrick, blah, blah, blah. Then they got safety Kyle Duggar from the Patriots, and he played all but one defensive snap in the win over the Colts 3 days later. Duggar received a game ball for his part in the defensive effort of the season. Joe Flacco was a big winner. Obviously, he went from one dumpster fire to another, so good on him, moving just down from Cleveland to Cincinnati. Jacoby Myers, big winner, chicken dinner, going from one middling organization to another middling organization. Good on you. Jacoby Myers goes from the Las Vegas Raiders all the way over to the other side of the country to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Dude! Duval. Good for you. Good for you. Losers, hopefully just short-term. Jets fans, yeah, it's going to be really rough sledding for the New York Jets. I mean, this is a dumpster fire. This is a fire sale. The reality for the New York Jets is what we all kind of knew it was going to be after about week 4, and that is you just don't have the horses, man. You just don't. Justin Fields is not the answer. He's just this season's solution. You might as well go ahead and get all the draft capital that you can to rebuild through the draft. You might as well find your quarterback of the future. Keep bringing in high-value, low-cost first-round defensive talent so that you can build your roster up. If you can get good money and good picks for these guys, you might as well pull the trigger on it if it's not going to cost you too much on the back end, and that's clearly what the New York Jets are doing. A big loser, though, is the guy that I actually expected the Jets to wheel and deal, and they ended up sitting on. That could be a boon for both parties if both parties understand the reality of the situation. Clearly, we're in a rebuild situation. Clearly, Breece Hall is what I would consider to be a workhorse running back. He's a modern-day throwback NFL player. I consider him to be similar skill set to that of David Montgomery maybe about 2-3 years ago when David Montgomery was just a little bit quicker out of his stance. Breece Hall is a very dangerous man and a guy that you can build your offense around. So if that's the understanding and both parties are completely in acknowledgement and agreement of the situation, then Breece Hall and the New York Jets are neither winners nor losers in this situation, but merely needs to be proven what the outcome will be, and we'll know more in a year and a half. But as it stands right now, if Breece Hall wanted to leave the Jets and he was tired of being over there in the Big Apple on a floundering New York Jets football team, we all kind of seen a lot of speculation, him or Alvin Kamara going to the Kansas City Chiefs, and, Breece Hall sitting tight in New York, so that kind of sucks if he actually wanted out. But if the Jets and Breece Hall have an understanding of the reality of the situation this year and moving forward, then I don't think either team is really that much of a loser when you see all of the wheeling and dealing the Jets already did prior to the trade deadline. There's not much more draft capital you can really pull in, and, at least let Breece Hall get familiarity with the offense if your solution to him is long-term. Now, the end of his contract is at the end of this year, so maybe he's just like, fuck it, I don't care. Maybe they couldn't find and secure a decent deal in exchange for the value of player, even though he is a one-year rental at this point in time. So Breece Hall, I like the guy, just going to be sitting still in the Meadowlands. Incomplete, Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. My eyes aren't too far apart. Jerry Jones, whose eyes are too far apart. New York Jets also get an incomplete because the way that those deals have worked out are stopgap players. Obviously Kenny Clark is a stopgap for the Dallas Cowboys along the defensive line. You had to get some type of asset you can plug and play, similar to what everyone viewed Jared Goff as in exchange for Matthew Stafford. We were really exchanging draft capital, and Jared Goff was an afterthought toss-in. I myself have become a fan of Jared Goff, though. Admittedly, I wasn't the highest on him when he came in here. And then, of course, you see the Jets sending guys like Quinnen Williams all the way over to Dallas in exchange for draft capital. It's just something that you kind of got to wait and see how that draft capital works out. So incomplete, I think, is an accurate assessment of both of those organizations, but a lot of movement, more than I think we've ever seen. Well, according to Judy Batista, more than we've ever seen since 1995. So a lot of wheeling, a lot of dealing. That's a 30-year span. I was 7 years old last time there were this many players welt and dealt. I don't know if welt is the right term there, but we're going to go ahead and stick with that. Sauce is so overrated because of his year where he falsely won Defensive Rookie of the Year despite being the best rookie and second best corner. All he has done is get worse. Motown Mitch, you are not wrong, dude. I vehemently oppose Sauce Gardner winning Defensive Rookie of the Year. Aiden Hutchinson should have won Defensive Rookie of the Year, and what it really came down to was the media market that Sauce Gardner was in was able to elevate and falsely inflate his availability or his ability on the field. I do agree with you that he is not even the best corner in the draft, but I will say he is better than most corners in the NFL, at least where it still sits. Clit, I think, Duncan Stewart, you're probably right. It probably is Clit Kubiak. I like that name, Clit Kubiak. He is the Clit, the almighty Clit, or whatever the Jay and Silent Bob thing is. Everyone thought they would also, yeah, dude, we all kind of thought they'd be moving around Mr. Detroit City, and it didn't really happen. Bears got a pass rusher for cheap, by the way. Well, you know what, Jack? You're not wrong. They did get a pass rusher on the cheap, but fuck the Bears. That's what I got to say about the Bears. Breece Hall posted a meme of that movie Life where the guy trying to get out of prison. All right, Lions. So So he probably, Lions Loyalty says that probably is the situation. What do we got here? More eyes can watch Hat and Beard Show, Lions Talk Live. Yeah, Mr. Troy City, exactly, you guys. Everyone he just dosed because I read dose of Dion. Everyone he cited there, go subscribe to these guys, dude. Go subscribe to them. I also am, I don't know how you guys feel about it. The Clit Commander, yes, Duncan Stewart. I am the Clit Commander. Yes, dude. Duncan, my guy, dude. Yes. Yes, I am the Clit Commander. Oh, hell yeah, guys. Hell yeah. Oh, man. So do we want to go ahead and read this? I think we're going to bypass this article. CBS, CBS, here's the thing with CBS, dude. Admittedly, guys, I do skim the articles. Okay. I don't read them outright, but I do skim them just to kind of see what we're getting into. And CBS has this ability of either having really clean and concise articles or just the most over-bloated, fluffy nonsense with just filler fucking words. And this article falls into that category. Look at all the words. Look at all the words. Look at all the words. Look at all these words. Look at all these words. I'm a fucking idiot. You want me to read all these goddamn words? I'm a fucking idiot. Though, where was it? Yeah, Chargers acquire Trevor Pennington from the Saints in exchange for a 2027 sixth-round pick. How the fuck did we miss out on that? How the fuck did you miss out on that play right there? Yeah, you fucking kidding me. That's a real quick shout out. Go and subscribe from Lions Syndicate, constantly pushing bad, false narratives and attacking other Lions content creators. Motown, damn, for real, dude. Damn. So, admittedly, I don't watch Lions Syndicate a lot. But I have watched him a few times, and admittedly, a year ago, I had a video kind of go viral for me, hit over 1,000 views, and admittedly, he was really nice to me and commented on my video that he agreed with it, and I don't necessarily find myself disagreeing with him all the time. But I have heard sometimes him kind of go after other Lions content creators. I have seen that periodically, you know what I mean? But I'm not gonna tell people to go unsubscribe to him because like I haven't like been a victim of that, and personally sometimes I do agree with him. Though pushing bad false narratives, I could be just as guilty as that, dude. I mean, you guys, I sat here yesterday for an hour and told you guys how we were going to be definitely making a trade for an interior offensive lineman. I was all high and mighty on us bringing in Boye Mafi or Tariq Woolen for the last couple weeks, guys. And so to be fair, if we're going to call them assholes and elbows, I mean, I also fall into that category. Sometimes I don't necessarily know if it's a false narrative or, you know, guys, we are just speculating over here. You know, we're just trying to kind of piece together a puzzle to kind of see and make the most of what information we have. And sometimes speculation can fall into a little bit of false narrative. For example, myself, I was banging the war drum to trade JMO during the draft. I was all about trading Jameson Williams. I have multiple videos where I talked about how Jameson Williams is the greatest asset to have, the greatest luxury to have in the NFL going into the NFL draft because he was the most viable trade bait that we could have to move around the draft board. And now I'm over here going, Jameson Williams, I commented on Woodward Sports Instagram right before they got banned from everything. I was just like, look at the evolution of Jameson Williams. Look at the maturity. Look at how much he's grown in the past couple years. You know what I'm saying? I'm now becoming a fan of Jameson Williams and what he does for the Detroit Lions. You know, so it could just be a little bit of sometimes you get audience capture, and sometimes you find that when one thing works, you just kind of lean into that a little bit more. Does that take away from anyone? Possibly. Are they being genuine in their leaning into? Like some things you guys see me continuously bring up, well, that's because I like to beat a dead horse because it's a fucking important matter to me. You know what I'm saying? Uh, LS is just a little angry for my liking. Art, that's fair, dude. That's fair. He is a little angry periodically, but he's got a niche for himself, and he's got a fandom. He's got a following that supports him. From 6 to midnight on that fake Zeitler move. It was like seeing nipple and realizing it was. It was like it's just a misplaced button. Art, that's hilarious, dude. Yeah, I got blue balls over that Zeitler move too. I'm gonna hear someone yell at all day. I'd call my mother-in-law. That's awesome. What's an opinion? That's an opinion, not a false narrative. For example, Lions D-line is trash and Brad Holmes is on the hot seat, and the Lions have to get a bunch of DNs or they are trash. Okay, all right, yeah, that's fair. Okay, yeah, so you're not wrong, Motown, especially the idea of Brad Holmes being on the hot seat. Before the season, we didn't know how the defensive line room was going to look. Remember, Aleem McNeil was still injured. Tyleek Williams was a rookie. We didn't make a move for a defensive end, so there was speculation and conversations to be had around that, and some people might have taken that conversation to a obnoxious degree. Okay, but yeah, if you're going to go out and say Brad Holmes is on the hot seat, that's a little wild. That's a little wild. We thought we'd pick up a player because that's what we seemed to make sense for countless people. You were not alone in thinking and believing that would happen. I appreciate it, Jody. I appreciate it. Hat and Beard, you don't act very arrogant and smart in everybody else vibes like other creators do and think they're smarter than them all. Look down on others. Oh, well, dude. So, Jody, thank you. I appreciate that. But I do have an argument that I needed to realize my own argument before I got too high down the line of us trading. And Mr. Detroit City, there's a real simple solution to why I don't come across like I think I'm smarter than everybody else. And that's because I'm a fucking idiot, dude. I'm a fucking moron, bro. It's kind of hard to be smarter than everybody else when you are very well aware of your own fucking idiocy. Like, I know how dumb I am, bro. So there you go. Actually, if you want to know the reality of leaning into something, I could proofread all of these articles and I could be like really script and have a nice show map and keep things very strict and a hard timeline on things and not get lost in the weeds. But you know what, dude? I'd rather just sit here and just yuck it up with you guys sometimes. I mean, for cripe's sake, the other day, we talked for like 26 minutes about wastewater and the biological breakdown process of all of that. It just, is what it is. See, sometimes you just lean into things. We all know the ruins, I mean, that's why we're here. Thank you, Art. I appreciate that, guy. So that means a lot, you guys, because I have a few rules that I live my life by. And one of them is like, and I know I sound like a sixth grader. I really don't like posers. I really can't stand people who are not authentic and genuine. You know what I mean? Like, it drives me up the fucking wall. Dude, I get it. If you're fucking weird, be fucking weird, okay? I have a fucking Green Lantern tattoo on my arm because I was all about comic books for a long time. Oh, shit, I need to change that. I forgot about that. I got comic book art and stuff, you guys. I don't anymore because there's really nothing good out, but I was a huge anime fan. I watched a lot of fucking anime growing up, y'all. And you know what? Just don't piss in the wind. Art, bro. I never pissed into the wind, but I did learn that lesson one time. So back in like 6th or 7th grade, I was riding my bike over to my buddy's house, and he lived like 2 miles away. So it was a pretty good bike ride. And I grew up on a couple of dirt roads, and one of them was like, I don't know, probably about a half a mile just straight downhill, like a nice downhill ride. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I was getting it, dude. I was going downhill, and I just like hawked a loogie and didn't even think about it. And I just spit that fucker straight forward, and it came right back in my fucking face, dude. Like right back in my fucking face. Like then I legit came to a stop in the road, and like I remember just thinking, "Don't piss in the wind, idiot!" Like, god damn, I'm fucking stupid, yo. Oh, Mr. Detroit City. Actually, brother, Hat and Beer doesn't glam it up and have AI build his show, workflow, timelines, etc. I will admit, I do have ChatGPT help me with the description sometimes. Because sometimes I don't know what to put in the description. Other than like if I could, I would just be like, show these articles, and then I would just put the articles in the description. But you have to fill it out with words and stuff. And I'm not creative when it comes to that type of stuff. So I just use it a little bit to like one, check my punctuation, make sure that it makes sense. But yeah, I actually do. I actually do use ChatGPT to help me a little bit with the description. Brandy Coffee, you want to see it? All right, I'll show you. I use ChatGPT all the time. You can see over there, union stuff that I use it for, favorite Green Ranger identity, grievance submission procedure, union access query, ad reads and sponsorship help on what to do with that, union committee voting rules, branch union access query, NFL updates and analysis. Some people have the bots read the articles and summarize them. Oh, no. I don't do that, dude. I just have it build the article for me. Or I just have it, see? So, like, this is what I do. I copy and paste, like today. So, it has this bad habit it puts the link right here, Detroit Free Press and shit like that. I don't want that, so I had to tell it not to put that in my fucking description. Like, don't put that in there. Stick just to it. So, good morning, Robo Jocko. Today is Wednesday, November 5th, 2025. The Lions seemingly let us down by not making a splash move at the deadline. Despite everyone making great arguments, I think I've got the real reason Brad Holmes stayed pat with the roster. Here's today's links for the show, and then I put the links that we cover in today's show, and they're all down in the description. You can click on them all. And then it builds me my title, the description, and then it puts the links in here as well, and then some hashtags that are trending according to Google SEO, and then some ideas to use in the thumbnail, because statistically speaking, it is better for click-through rate to put words in my thumbnail, apparently, which is why you guys have seen this slight evolution of my thumbnails, incorporate words and more imagery and that type of stuff. Comes in handy for sure. It does. Here's the thing, though, you guys, is ChatGPT will do whatever you tell it to do. It's not smart. It will do it. Like, I'm trying to think of the video that I watched, but this guy he showed it where, like, it'll just go with whatever you tell it. So he told it that he was having full-on conversations with his father about the Pythagorean theorem at 6 months old, and ChatGPT was like, wow, that's impressive, you're a fucking genius, and then just continued to go with that. So, like, it's totally only going to use the information that you give it, and it'll be incredibly biased. It will totally gas you up. If you can straight tell it, gas me up, and it'll just gas you up. You know what I'm saying? I have Copilot, and it's an idiot. Brandy, exactly. Like, they're just kind of dumb. As someone who has worked with robots in the past, robots will do whatever you tell them to do very efficiently, but that's it. They'll only do exactly what you tell them to do. You should have AI take your podcast and Joe Rogan podcast and have it make J.R.E. Hattenbeard AI interview. Dude, that I've thought about dabbling with that. And speaking of, I am still working on. I just haven't had time because of work stuff and the union vote and just all kinds of shit. Trying to do fall lawn cleanup. I am still working on that. The Better Call Saul clip where I'm putting people's faces, Patrick Mahomes' faces and stuff on it. So that should be out. I'm hoping to get that out maybe next week, if not week 11 at the absolute latest. You know what I'm saying? Using what you said, compile it all, the Alex Jones voices, etc. Dude, admittedly, Mr. Detroit City, I would love to be a voiceover actor, dude. Tell Brad to trade for an all-pro center, please. Just based off of things you've said. Yeah, the AI has a very interesting take on me. AI thinks that I am way more of a gun tuber than I am. I've back I don't know, like 5 or 6 months ago, I was messing around with Grok, and I linked it to my channel, and I was like, hey, you should, based on this YouTube channel, construct me an animation or an image of what you think this YouTuber is. And it was just like, It was just like me, and it made my glasses really obnoxiously shootery, and my whole wall was just decked out with holy crap, fellas, damn, I'm a sweaty damn, bro. That's a problem with when I don't wear black shirts. You guys can see how much I sweat, and I put my arms up a lot. It just decked my whole wall out with every type of customizable accessory you can add to an AR-15. It was just like this most obnoxious fucking thing, dude. Know that our content like this is gold overseas in other languages. Air an opportunity to get your dreams. No shit. So Duncan, you said something about Ukraine, dude. So like, are you overseas, bro, or do you just like know something, brother? And I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just trying to think of other conversations we have. X thinks I love to watch schoolyard fights for some reason. Yeah, dude, Lions loyalty. Dude, when the algorithm, hat and beard and pit show, Pac Lolo. Dude, I'm sorry, guys. I'm a very sweaty guy. I'm a very, very sweaty fella. So I'm sorry about that. But yeah, guys, I put this shirt on at 9 a.m. I put this fucker on at 9. I literally have shirts that I wear just for the show. I like my graphic gruntwear shirts. I only wear these for shows. I have other gruntwear shirts that I wear outside of here, but the graphic ones I only wear on air, and I only wear from 9 till fucking like the show ends at like 11 or 11:15 at the latest. You know what I'm saying? Deodorant sponsorship enters chat. Dude, if I could get like a really like aluminum free deodorant sponsorship, antiperspirant, 100%. Or if somebody wants to get my content out to Cheeky, I would love to sell Cheeky soap. I would love to sell Cheeky soap, dude. I'm all about that shit, dude. You guys might not know this, but I am crunchy as a motherfucker. I'm a crunchy motherfucker. So can I ask, just out of curiosity, now that you guys know my dirty little secret that I use ChatGPT for a little bit of assistance, respect lost? Honestly, like, did that kind of take the facade down of my authenticity with you guys? Do you feel like I've been lying to you and giving you a false sense of what the show is? Or is the transparency something that kind of ties into the whole, I'm trying to be very genuine with you guys? You know what I'm saying? I start to sweat when I see screen passes called by Morton. Dude, I'm starting to sweat whenever I see John Morton calling plays period point blank, dude. Hat calendar for the ladies, a horse and some soap gun. Oh yes, Duncan, dude. I got a friend who, if you guys are fans of stand-up comedy, it's like 2025, keeping up with the times. It's essential. Thank you, Lions loyalty. I kind of view AI as a tool. You know what I'm saying? People use it for way more intended purposes. I use it because like I'm bad at spelling. Sometimes I need like something to kind of jog my creative juices and get things flowing. You know what I mean? It works as like a nice little sounding board for things, or if like you need to just kind of, like I say, clean up punctuation, make sure it's like a secondary spell checker. You know what I'm saying? Lions, we'll be back, man. Fumble, missed field goal, 85 screenplays. Mike Anderson, dude, if we could get away from the screenplays, I'd be really happy. Transparency, like Rick, the Ukrainian bro, he shows every donation going to the units we support. Oh, dude, hell yeah, Duncan. Well, and that's something that, as you guys know, I'm donating 100% of super chats and 30% of my weekly winnings to charity for the holidays, right? And I fully intend to just go ahead and the Friday, so it'd be December 5th. I have to take the money into church on December 7th. I'm just going to show you guys my revenue. Like, I'll show you the behind the back end stuff so you can see, so you know I'm not lying to you about the super chats that we raise and that type of stuff. That's why I also got the board back here. It's got cash injections that you can't quite see. Yeah, you can't quite see it. I'll fix this. But I got cash injection. I got super chats, and then I got weekly winnings, and then the total over here at 335. You need food stamps? Well, Pac Lolo, we are. I can't help you with food stamps, brother. I can't help you with that, dude. But I am doing what I can, trying to help fund food banks and that stuff. Toys for Tots is run by USMC reserve types. Hell yeah, dude. That's why the Toys for Tots are where it's at. I heard Patriots. Hell yeah, dude. Kerry Simtich, we do what we can for the Patriots around here, guys. I don't know if you guys noticed. Kind of a pro-American guy over here. Kind of kind of put my authenticity about my patriotism on my sleeve. Speaking of sleeves, and I know it's super hacky. But I really want to get a 1776 with some muskets or like a musket and AR-15 on my forearm. I know it's super, super hacky, but like I just think it's sick, dude. If I could get like 1776 with that and like the Gadsden snake on one side and like the Betsy Ross colony flag on the other or something. I don't know, man. We trust you, brother. We don't need to see the books or some mega churches out there robbing people. Dude, thank you. I appreciate that, Mr. Detroit City, bro. I try to be as like genuine as I can, man. I'm just me, man. I'm just me. I'm just a fucking hat and beard, dude. I'm just a hat and beard, just one guy, man. I'm just one guy. It's something I've said all my life. I'm just one guy trying to change the world a little bit for the better, one dumbass thought at a time. You know what I'm saying? Just one dumbass thought at a time. Thank you, Brandy. I appreciate that, sister. Bless you. I appreciate that. Your charity will be going to a good cause. I just want to shout out that the charity that we're going through is through my church. And they are partnered with the local areas food banks, which are partnered through Meyer. So every dollar that I donate, Meyer donates too. So it's a 2-to-1 match. So we're trying to get as much as we can. I really appreciate that. Yes, man, you are the only one of you that we have. Play hard. Hell yeah. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that, man. I am a special little unique snowflake. You know me. So speaking of me being the special little snowflake that I am, the copium is the Lions signed a practice squad player. That's right. We signed Jack Connolly, and I don't care. Yes, he could be awesome. He could be a guy that goes against all the statistics and ends up being a Hall of Fame player that just got bypassed. He really could be. If that's the case, that's awesome. If my grandma had been born with wheels, she'd have been born a wagon. So I'm not going to be too high on the copium of us signing a practice squad player. Hooray! Hooray! We needed more depth. Hooray! He can play tackle and guard. Hooray! So can Miles Frazier. Where the fuck is Miles Frazier? Where is Miles Frazier? You've been genuine your whole life. Always know where you stand. That's true. My mom would know that. That's first day of school vibes with a purple shirt and bright neon or bright teal sweatpants. I have had this uncanny ability to regularly march to the absolute beat of my own drum, and I don't give a fuck if you don't like my tune. It's my tune, and I'm going to fucking sing it the way that I want to. Not to be a jerk, but kicking. Hey, Brent DeWitt. Appreciate that. Brad says he's tried to get the deal done. Well, so that's the thing that I do want to say. Appreciate you, Brent. Your charity is very, very appreciated and will be going to a good cause. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I don't want you guys to feel obligated, by the way. Please, I don't want you to feel obligated. Just because I bring it up, it's not me going, you have to do this. Ah! I'm not going to like e-bag or like say you guys have to be, donating. I'm just letting you know that that's what that money's going towards. You know what I'm saying? That's not for me. That money's not for me. That's for everybody, people that need it. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to do what we can because if I'm going to stand here and say that entitlement programs don't statistically be needed and cite examples like when funding for Planned Parenthood got cut during the first Trump administration, individual donors stepped up and donated more money than the federal government was going to give them. I do believe that America is founded on is a Western civilization that is founded on Judeo-Christian values, mostly that being charity, and that Americans are very compassionate about the needs of other Americans. And when Americans can, they do and will step up. So I can and will put my money where my mouth is and fucking donate where I can to try and preach or practice what I preach. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple, dude. It's just that goddamn simple. going to the bank, taking a loan out and using it for super chats. Well, don't do that, Mr. Detroit City. Don't do that, bro. I still say we should put Monty and BB on the O-line. Hell yeah, Mom. That'd be a tenacious offensive line. I don't see very many O-linemen with much starting experience moving at the trade deadline often. It can't be that easy to get one done. Yeah, but I would have liked to have had Trevor Pennington in exchange for a 2027 sixth-round pick. Coach Dan was saying tackle would be tough for him, and here we are. We'll play four-man D-line with another lost tight end head. Are you a lineman? Name 200 passing plays. We do, Dan. Love hearing that you help people in need. Yeah, Jay. Well, I do what I can, bro. I do what I can. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna fucking go broke. I'm not gonna sacrifice me and Hat and Boob's general welfare so that other people can have. But if I have a little bit extra, I mean, it doesn't hurt right now. You know what I'm saying? I can do it right now. I got very, very lucky. Most of that money, I got very, very lucky this week gambling. I got very lucky and won a nice chunk of change. Okay, that's where that came from. Is I got lucky. That's all that is. That is just me getting lucky and sharing the wealth. So now that we are on the last 10 minutes, I do want to just go ahead and for everybody that stuck through us to the end, I'm going to go ahead and say the reality of the trade situation is Brad Holmes is a talent evaluator. Brad Holmes has a little bit of an ego. Brad Holmes, I think, does think he is the smartest man in the room, and he has been proven correct as far as drafting players. Historically, he found Cooper Kupp, he found Amon-Ra St. Brown, Isaac Tesla should be on that same trajectory, Jamison Williams, Aiden Hutchinson, Penei Sewell, Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch, Jahmyr Gibbs. The list goes on and on. He's had more hits in the draft than he has misses, okay? And that is a very good thing to have for an organization. But where Brad Holmes does appear to be lacking is that is not necessarily the greatest at making deals. Yes, he has been able to finagle draft capital on draft day to move up the draft board, and it cannot be underlined that he was one of the parties involved with trading Matthew Stafford in exchange for all of those draft picks and Jared Goff, which is one of the greatest trades, mutually beneficial greatest trades in NFL history. However, if you look at the history of Brad Holmes in his acquisition of players preseason, mid-season, right up until the trade deadline, see Trinity Benson, see Zadarius Smith, historically it has not worked out for him that well. You compile that with the Detroit Lions are not the most liked team by other organizations. So the asking price for the Detroit Lions over the years has probably gone up and up as we no longer are the bottom feeders, the poor little Detroit Lions, the team you can pick on and pluck draft capital away because, well, they're just happy to make a splash to appease their fans, even though it's not going to work out for them. They're going to continue to lose, and we're just going to maintain that high draft pick in exchange for a player that we are no longer interested in. If you put those two things together, does it not make sense that Brad Holmes would be a little shy in being able to get deals done with other organizations and maybe even a little shy in wanting to try and get deals done with organizations? If no one wants to play with him, there can only be you have to have two to tango. He can't play the game by himself. All reports say he did try to get some type of a deal done, but at a certain point, the asking price is going to become too much, especially when Brad Holmes clearly has a better tendency to execute with the draft capital than he does in acquiring players through free agency or trade deadlines. So the draft capital to Brad Holmes is probably a little bit more valuable than it is to a guy like Howie Roseman. Okay, Howie Roseman, although successful in drafting players, obviously much better at wheeling and dealing to acquire already established talent. I'm not taking away from Howie Roseman, but what I am saying is that Brad Holmes does things his own way, and the things that he does very, very well, he does very, very well. The problem is that the fan base wanted things to go a certain way because we look around and we see all of these other kids getting their shiny new presents as they make their rush to the Super Bowl, and you go, well, where is mine? And Brad Holmes says, well, I signed a practice squad player. And you go, well, why? The reality is that's not what Brad Holmes does. It's what we might have wanted, but that's not what Brad Holmes does. And that's never been who Brad Holmes is. Brad Holmes doesn't look around and see what the NFL is doing and follow suit. No, as evident with our coaching staff. The rebuild, the way we go about playing football, the mentality of the Detroit Lions starts with doing things a certain way. and that is their way, and Brad Holmes is going to continue to do things his own way, regardless of what the NFL says that he should be doing. Clearly, his results have worked with an NFC Championship appearance and a first seed, number 1 overall in a Week 1 bye in the playoffs last season, despite having 142 players on injured reserve. It still works. We just need to have, well, to quote George Michael, you got to have faith, faith, faith. Baby! So we need to continue to trust Brad Holmes until proven otherwise. This is just another example of the doubt that we placed on him when we drafted Tyleik Williams, and we've seen how well that's worked out for us. Everybody that stood there and said, why didn't you, this player or that player? Well, Tyleik Williams, in my humble hat and beard opinion, has been playing well above his draft position and has proven Brad Holmes to yet again be the acquirer, the inquisitor, the finder of, the archaeologist of finding great talent through the draft, despite his inability to execute or find trades that all of us want to see midseason, because we want the headlines, we want to feel good, we want to come out of this ugly, ugly loss to the Minnesota Vikings going, well, at least we acquired, but at least then this, but if then that. But we need to realize that Brad Holmes is always going to do the things Brad Holmes does the way Brad Holmes does it, and we need to support him and stop questioning him until it starts to be proven that his ways don't work. Did any of that make any sense? Brad's MO hasn't changed since he's been here. Exactly, Brent. He is who we thought he was. And here's the thing with Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes, we'll leave you with this quote. All right. Brad Holmes looked around at the NFL and said, this is what everybody's doing. And he goes, we do not let the situation dictate our decisions. We dictate the situation. Good. All right, guys. Free agents can be great. Finally, the pay, the community, that Siwan, Jerry Maguire. Exactly, dude. When I was out and I met a nice Filipina lady, learned some tag along. Hell yeah. All right, guys. I appreciate all of you who tuned in and hung out and gave me your thoughts, your opinions. I appreciate everybody's take on the trade deadline and where we are. At work, play the charm card. See ya. I don't have much charm left anymore at work, my guy. So try and have yourself a good rest of the day, guys. Remember that it's Wednesday, it's hump day, and we are just a couple of downhill slaloms into the weekend. Oh, happy day when the weekend gets here. Henry Hutchins, good morning. I don't trust his process. I'm highly disappointed in my Lions. That's fair, and you can be. You can be, dude. I'm going to lean into history, proving that Brad Holmes does know what he's talking about. Even though we might not like it, we still got to just continue to have faith. Now, if this all goes tits up, then I'll be the first to admit that it's not working and I was wrong. But historically speaking, it's been the correct course of action. 2 wake-ups, and this is practically Friday now, man. Exactly, Duncan, exactly. We're damn near to Friday, boys. We're damn near here, and then it'll be Saturday. And I'm going to mow the lawn, do up the leaves, work in the garage a little bit, maybe get my hair cut. Me and Hat and Boobs are going to have a little date night dinner, and then just kind of kicking it and chilling. So appreciate everybody tuning in, hanging out. Stay out of trouble. We'll be right back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. 11. Make sure that notification bell is rang. Turn the notification bells on. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button on your way out the door and share this video around with all of your friends. I've been Hat and Beard. You've been an attentive audience. Until next time, bonga bonga. Frig off.